FA 12 News. This is breaking news.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are interrupting regular programming to bring you a press conference by Governor Robert Bentley to address allegations by former ALEA Secretary Spencer Collier that the governor engaged in an affair with one of his top advisors. He is answering those allegations now. Let's listen in.
Some incorrect statements that Spencer Collier has made about me and about ALEA. First, the allegation and implication for Mr. Collier in reference to me intercepting a sexually explicit text in August of 2014 is completely false and without merit. Secondly, for clarification, I have not ordered the closure of any investigation. This is another incorrect statement from Mr. Collier. ALEA routinely conducts criminal investigations and special inquiries. Upon completion of the investigation or inquiry, the investigative file or findings are turned over to the proper authorities. However, consistent with agency policy, ALEA does not discuss pending or ongoing investigations or special inquiries. Effective February the 29th, 2 non-merit positions and 2 part-time retired state employee positions were eliminated and will remain vacant, representing a savings of over $250,000. Please note, in accordance with personnel policy, medical insurance coverage is terminated the last day of the month in which the employee separates from the agency. We will continue to evaluate all aspects of ALEA and make adjustments as necessary to continue the streamlining of our agent in accordance with the intent of the legislature in consolidating state law enforcement. ALEA is focused on the future, and my priority remains the same: to carry out the mission of the agency and ensure our law enforcement officers and support staff honorably provide service, protection, and safety for all of our citizens. Thank you.
Today is a difficult day for me. The recordings that were referred to by Spencer Collier in his press conference were actually made 2 years ago. Since that time, I've apologized to members of my family, to Mrs. Mason and her family, and I apologize to them for any conversations and behavior that was inappropriate. Today, I want to apologize to the people of the state of Alabama. And once again, I want to apologize to my family. I am truly sorry, and I accept full responsibility. I want everyone to know, though, that I have never had a physical affair with Mrs. Mason. I can assure the people of Alabama that as their governor, I have never done anything illegal. I have never asked any member of my staff or any cabinet member to lie, despite what the ALEA secretary, former ALEA secretary, said today. And at no time have I ever used the resources of my office to facilitate a relationship of any type. In 2014, when I was campaigning for governor, I leased an airplane to allow me to attend political functions. And it is wrong for the state airplane to be used for political purposes. And out of an abundance of caution, my campaign leased a plane. It has always been my honor and my privilege to serve the people of this state and to serve as their governor. As I've always tried to do, I'm going to continue to work hard for the people of this state and do the absolute best job that I can. I'm opening it up for questions.
Governor, you said you had no physical relationship with Ms. Mason. What describe your relationship with Ms. Mason beyond the fact that she is clearly your closest aide and confidant?
Well, I think that's what she is. She is my closest aide, or one of my aides that is part of my leadership team, and she does an outstanding job. She has worked for me in various capacities. In fact, she has been with me the entire time before I was elected governor. I have several members of my leadership team right now that have been with me that length of time. Zach Lee and Wesley Helton, as well as And Will Edwards has also, to a certain extent.
Governor, you don't make sexually explicit comments to them, I take it, and you did with her.
I made a mistake. 2 years ago, I made a mistake. I have rectified that. I have dealt with that, and we have moved on.
Did you only make a mistake when people were recording you?
No.
Governor, what specifically are you apologizing for if you do not have a physical relationship? What is...
I'm apologizing for the things that I said.
Sir,
Governor.
Well, whatever's been reported.
sir, you trust.
I haven't heard the tape. I have not heard the tape, so I don't know who is on the tape, but I'm just saying that I'm sure that I have. At that time, I said some inappropriate things, and I know that I did that, and so I'm just apologizing for that to her, and I'm apologizing to my family and to the state of Alabama.
Why would you make those statements if you were not involved in a physical relationship?
Well, that is not a physical relationship, making those statements.
Sir, why should the people of Alabama trust you?
Well, the people of Alabama have twice elected me, and I have been totally honest with the people of Alabama, and I'm being honest today. And only thing I'm asking the people of Alabama today to do is, as I stand before you and stand before the people of this state, and say that I've made a mistake. I have made the mistake. And I'm just asking those that have been involved, including the people of this state, to forgive me. And I want to serve the people of this state because I truly believe that I was placed here for a purpose, and I'm going to fulfill that purpose.
Governor, is your physical relationship, is it a rule
Today.
Governor, were these comments, were they an isolated incident, or did they take place over a longer period of time? How long was this inappropriate communication lasting?
It was a period of time. I really can't say exactly the length of time, but it was over. I don't want to say a period of months. I'm not going to say that because I'm just saying that it was a period of time in my life that I have made inappropriate comments, and
Did she ask you to stop? Did Ms. Mason ask you to stop?
no.
Governor, there's a portion of that recording in which you were heard saying, I like to walk up behind you and touch you and put my hand on your breast. How would you say that if you were not involved in physical relationship?
Well, what I'm saying is there was no sexual activity.
Governor, you've always posed one of the most trusted. You've always posed one of the most trusted and liked public officials. How do you move forward with reestablishing that trust and likability from the people of Alabama?
You know, let me say this. I make mistakes. Even the most trusted person on earth makes mistakes. That's one of the great things in my life that I feel that as a human being, I do make mistakes. But the most wonderful thing that I have that in my life is I truly believe that the God who loves me even through the mistakes. And he uses those. And he uses even difficult times in our lives, like I've been going through. And he's going to use those to make me better and to make other people around me better. And so that's how I look at it.
Okay, thank you, Governor.
I thank y'all.
Have you entertained the idea of stepping down?
No, I have not.
Thank you, Governor.
Governor, why did your wife file for divorce?
That is Governor Robert Bentley wrapping up a press conference that he called this afternoon in response to a press conference earlier today that was conducted by Spencer Collier, the former head of the Alabama law enforcement agency who was fired by Governor Bentley yesterday. Collier, among many things that he said today, is accusing the governor of being involved in a sexual relationship with one of his top advisors, Rebecca Mason. Collier says, this goes back to 2014 when Collier, as head of ALEA, was made aware of a text message and a recorded phone conversation between the governor and Mrs. Mason that was sexual in nature. Today, the governor apologized again, he said, for making a mistake in as much as participating in that recorded phone conversation and saying inappropriate things to Mrs. Mason. He, however, denied any sort of sexual relationship with her. She has been one of his top advisors. Mrs. Mason and her husband both serve in the governor's cabinet. She, again, as a top advisor, John Mason, her husband, as director of Serve Alabama within the governor's Office of Faith-Based and Volunteer Services. This goes back to a couple of years ago, again, when Collier says he was made aware of the text message and the recorded phone conversation, sexual in nature. He informed the governor of his being aware of that and told the governor, according to Collier, that he would not be lying for the governor. The relationship between the governor and Spencer Collier soured some time back when Collier provided an affidavit to state prosecutors in the corruption trial of Speaker of the House Mike Hubbard. The governor had ordered Collier not to submit that affidavit. He did so anyway. He was recently placed on medical leave because of a back issue he was having. Collier, again, fired by Governor Bentley yesterday. He says he found out via social media. And we heard from Stan Stabler, who is now the acting head of Aaliyah, saying that he did not squash any kind of investigation. The governor firing Collier yesterday, he said, because of an investigation that was ordered by Stabler into activities there at Aaliyah. They found, quote, several areas of concern and some possible misuse of funds. And that's when the governor terminated Spencer Collier's employment there as the head of Aaliyah. Once again, the governor denying any sort of sexual relationship with Rebecca Mason, a longtime top advisor of his, apologizing for inappropriate behavior that he said he'd already apologized to his family, the people involved in the state of Alabama. We had a little bit of technical difficulty during the course of that press conference there, getting the signal back. We are working on that and we'll continue to follow this story. Of course, we'll have much more on all of this coming up here in just a few moments on WSFA 12 News First at 4. Keep it here for the very latest. But for now, I'm John O'Connor. WSFA 12 News will send you back to regular programming, and then we'll see you back here in about 13 minutes.